Okay, so I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for what I'm about to say, and not uploading this as anything other than just me giving my opinion on something that I've been seeing a lot over the past few days. And it's mainly just because I've had an argument with someone about this, and I see it all on all sorts of things. But I really feel I've got to just kind of voice my opinion on this. I just wanted to sit down and actually say what I think about this instead of writing it out in arguments and all that stuff, which I'm still going to do, but I guess I'm just beating around the bush at this point. And basically, what I have to say is that I think gamers in general, of all sorts, have just become a bunch of whiny little children. And if you've seen my arguments online anywhere, you've seen me have this argument. And the center of this is mainly around video games in general. A little bit in some RPGs, minor bit, tabletop RPGs, I mean. But for the most part, I just feel like people are sitting there whining and demanding so much, like, okay, developers are supposed to produce this game, and it's supposed to be 5 stars, top quality, the best thing ever, and they're supposed to give it out for free, and it comes with a complimentary blowjob. I don't know what people are expecting. And there is a basis for my argument on this, and a lot of it does come down to DLCs. That's usually where this argument starts for me. And this is my opinion. Feel free to have a different one. But for the most part, you should be paying far more for a game than you are right now. And most people don't seem to realize that. You're sitting there complaining that you pay $60 for a game that a team of people have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours making, and millions of dollars. But oh, it's just a DLC. I hear that a lot. People chalk up entire games with 40 hours of playtime as DLC or an expansion. And it's basically just pissing on the people who made the game. If you don't like the game itself, that's one thing to say. If Call of Duty usually gets this argument. If you don't like Call of Duty, then don't fucking play Call of Duty. But then the argument goes over to DLCs, and one, don't buy the fucking DLC if you don't want it. It's not that hard. You can sit there and say, oh, they're just being money-grubbing assholes. That's 9 out of 10 times not the case. I mean, just to put this into perspective, games back in the 90s cost $50-$60. And simply based on inflation, there was a Forbes article, and they said that based on inflation alone, if game developers actually used inflation, you should be paying $100. Not to factor in that you are getting million times higher quality games, million times longer development. Games used to be churned out in months. I don't have the statistics on me, so if you can find them and you prove me wrong, that's perfectly fine. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This is just my opinion based on my knowledge. But people sitting here bitching and whining and complaining is just... You don't know how good you have it, really. And that's not to say that I do. I take things for granted all the time. I bitch and complain about Destiny, but the reason I bitch and complain about Destiny is because it feels some things just feel off about it. There's a lot of situations that rub me really the wrong way. But that's design. I don't complain about the DLC. And like with Destiny, what a lot of people failed to realize is that when they first announced Destiny, they said, this is a 10-year plan. We're not going to give you a single game that you're going to be playing for 10 years. We're going to give you a bunch of little pieces that's supposed to stretch out for 10 years. This is the first thing I knew about Destiny. And originally I thought that was dumb. I got it, I played it. It was actually a pretty fun game. And some things people don't realize, and I'm going to keep using that as an example because that's honestly one of the best ones. People will say, like, content is cut, but because they found they found maps. Basically, you could get into areas when the game first came out. But as I remember those, there wasn't anything on them. And what's the point of a map if you can't do anything? What's the point of going into this area if there's no enemies to shoot? There's no NPCs to interact with, there's no quests, there's no storyline. If there's nothing to do, what's the point of it being there? And that's essentially it. They put it on there to make it easier for them. When the DLC, them and you, honestly, when the DLC came out, you didn't have to download this massive DLC because half of the content was already on there. They were using a resource. They're like, okay, this is what we have done so far. Let's throw it on the disk so it's easier down the line. And people complain about that. So someone said, why don't you just put it in the DLC? Well, it's to make it easier on both parties. Moment. So I don't understand. Personally, that's me, completely admitted. I don't understand the complaints. I understand some of the complaints. Don't get me wrong there. If something is legitimately, they can prove and that they have the developers admit fully that yeah, we cut the game. Okay, if they do that, fine. But at the same time, you're getting more than you should. You're getting, honestly, more than what you pay for. By a lot. Like, someone tried arguing with me that the reason that they can charge less is that gaming has increased in general. That people are paying more for games. Or more people are paying for games. Which is not true. Plain and simple. If you look back at sales figures, you'll notice the PlayStation 2 is still the most selling game console ever. Sold more hardware, sold more software. It sold the most. Console gaming, and PC gaming to a minute degree has gone down. And yes, console gaming is going down with the rise of PCs, but with the rise of PC gaming, that is. But it's, at the same time, it's not such a drastic shift. I mean, the numbers are still there like that era, the PlayStation 2, GameCube, original Xbox. The original Xbox is kind of on its own there, but GameCube, PlayStation 2, that era with two consoles sold more, and maybe that's part of the reason they sold more, because there was a clear left side, right side, jump to that one or that one. This time nowadays there's the Xbox, PlayStation, Wii U, and PC is even bigger and slightly more accessible. I could go on an entire rant about PC gamers, but that's not what I'm talking about today. So I guess my overall point that I'm trying to make is that just have fun. For fuck's sake, people. I see people going out and just bitching and complaining about fairly good games. Like, Fallout is one that gets a lot of flack, and I think I've touched on that a little bit, how people are saying they completely took role-playing out of Fallout, and I disagree. If you want to go murder everyone in Diamond City, you can. Can't kill Piper, obviously, but other than that, I'm 99% Piper and Nick, but you can kill damn near everyone in that town, and the game doesn't stop you. While they hold other games as, oh, this is a great role-playing game, and it might be a good role-playing game, and I get that, but to say it cuts out the role-playing is basically saying it is letting you play your character as you want. And to bring it back to tabletop RPGs, if I want to go become a mass murdering psychopath, which I'm just using that as an example, then I can make that character. Fallout, I can do that. I can't do that. I don't think I can do that in The Witcher. I haven't played The Witcher. Honestly, the Witcher games bore me. Get a lot of heat for that. But just in general, the role-playing is still there, but people are complaining because, honestly, I have no fucking clue what they're complaining about. Because in old Fallouts, it was you bump your numbers up as high as possible for no reason. Like, there was no real issue with it. I could be level, I think it was playing like level 10, and by level 10 I have maxed out my lockpicking, I have maxed out my science maybe, and that was something I would always do in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Haven't played the originals, that's what I'm basing myself off of. But Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I never touched guns. I didn't use a weapon. I never touched the guns perks. I felt no need for it. Because the weapons on their own did well enough. But, oh man. I'm all over the place right now. It's like 2 in the morning maybe? 1? 12:30. I don't know time. In general, and this all started because I was looking online and I saw someone complaining about the Skyrim, the Skyrim Special Edition. I am happy. I am really excited about that for one main reason. My games won't close on their own. And this is part of the PC rant. But someone's just like, oh, this is just a stupid cash grab to consoles. Really? The fact that you're getting it for free on PC doesn't mean anything to you? You're getting, hopefully, a far more stable system, because anyone who's actually played and modded Skyrim to any amount knows that Skyrim's a finicky bitch. It really is. That game crashes all the time, and you're complaining that they're basically giving you a free upgrade to make it more stable, look a little nicer on its own, so you don't have to throw 8 million mods on it to make it look amazing. And potentially more stuff. They might, I don't know if they are going to, but maybe they'll put back in the Civil War. I don't know if they've talked about anything like that, or if they've just said that they're going to leave it as is. Leave the game as is, just make it look nicer. If that's all they're doing, still fine, great. But we don't have like 100%, we don't have the thing on our desk. We aren't sitting here playing this right now. So saying it's just a cash grab is admittedly dumb, in my opinion. There's no point in making and saying that, because at the core, the reason game developing companies exist at all, the reason they are big major developmental companies, is because they want to make money. Now, different companies will do that in different ways, admittedly. CD Projekt Red is probably one of the highest toted ones right now because their one game series that I can think of is largely regarded as one of the highest quality and most worth the money. I'm not going to say it's not. It's just not my cup of tea. It was very slow to me. It's fine. I'm not gonna, and because it's not my cup of tea, I'm going to say I'm not going to buy further games in that franchise. Series is dead, or the series is over. Fine. Not going to worry about that. It's not my thing. I'm not going to buy it. It's that simple. On that topic, I am really looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. I really want that game. That's my aside. So yeah, have fun, guys. There's no point in getting worked up and pissed off and frustrated, and down. There's a term and I can't think of it, but there's no point in shitting on a company who is doing what their whole point in being a company is, but at the same time they're putting out solid product. Is it playable? Can anyone find fun out of it? They did their job. If you want to shit on the people who are having fun with something that you find inferior, then you know what? Screw you. If you want to look down on it, you don't like the game, fine, but don't shit on other people for enjoying it. It's really fucking petty. It really is. So, I guess I'm going to stop my ranting here, because I probably, to some, I'm just going to sound like a retard. To others, I might make sense. I hope someone realizes. I hope I awaken something in someone's mind that says, okay, he's actually got a point. I don't know. I really don't. Yeah. Making a game costs a shit ton of money and a shit ton of time. And to sit here and demand more for less is ridiculous. So until next time, guys, game on.